Okay, first things first. Al, thank you for the $10 donation from last stream, which I didn't notice until after you had left. But thank you for that. And hello. And, oh, you're all early. If anyone's here before sound alerts bot, that means you're early. Captain, Tanya, Cello, Vol, thank you all for being here. Asamiya, thank you as well. So the Guitar Festival was very interesting. I'm gonna play some stuff, but I'll be periodically talking about it. And I have a funny video to share. I think it's funny. Also, man, I played some amazing guitars. It was what am I doing here? Oh. Pausing this to tune. And yeah, Al, I'm doing all right. I'm tired. I'm very tired. I was up in Boston till about 1 in the morning, and it's about an hour-and-a-half drive from where I am, so. Again, I guess it was technically Cambridge, but if anything, that's just a few minutes north, so. Okay, so now I tune, I'm gonna change it. I'll get used to this new mic the day before, the new mic setup the day before the other mic comes back. Long time no see. Ron McDonough, what's up? What have you been up to? Hello, Jack. Wait, what is this emote? Who is it? Oh, it's a bit. Oh, okay. Oh, it's one of Nighty's emote. Okay. Moving up in the world. Nice. Music, video games, and Magic the Gathering. All sounds like good stuff. You know, I never actually played Magic, really. I collected Magic cards, but I never really got into. I've never been a fan of like board games. Again, I'm a child. In the sense, it's See, I'm not the biggest fan of strategy stuff. I like when strategy is obviously, you know, plays a role in something that I'm doing, but if it's pure strategy, I just get fidgety. It's just not my. Everything I've ever been into has involved me doing something like this or moving my feet in some way. I need movement. I need movement in my life. Oh, well, luck also sucks. Luck is, I believe deeply that luck is purely bad for a game. I don't think it makes it fun. Unless there's such a huge, unless you're trying to play purely for fun and there's a huge skill gap. It's like, okay, then it's, yeah, you can, and then people are laughing or whatever. But at that point, you're not actually worrying so much about the consequences of winning and losing. It's truly about just pure fun. But, yeah, in terms of competition, I believe it's objectively bad. Now, you can't always get rid of it completely for different reasons, but you can try. Just like I can try playing this music. Okay, let me do this. I was scared of being too close to the piano. I actually didn't mean to end the piece there, but whatever, it worked. Vol, thank you for gifting us up to Ticket to Hawaii. Ticket to Hawaii, hello. Привет. Ash, good morning. How are you doing? So some people may have seen in the Discord, I met Guitar Shredder. I had actually met him a bunch of times before, but that was before we really knew each other. And so it was funny to see him for the first time in years, but in person. It was a series of many strange, very, very strange things from yesterday. Also, thank you, Vol. Some of which I think people will be able to see. I don't know if they're waiting till after the festival to put the stuff on YouTube. I sat in on a master class. I don't know if any of you know who Jorge Caballero is, but he had a really good master class because the students, there was a good progression from like relatively new as a guitarist all the way up to the person who got second place at the GFA and won the Boston Guitar Fest competition. Kevin Lowe, if you know who that is. And so it's interesting to see how the difference in comments from Jorge, and also the difference in the way, it's funny, it's like, it was such an, it's like a spectrum from like the person who was kind of new, he's like talking to them and, you know, addressing the audience and stuff like that. But for the most part with Kevin, it felt very much like the two of them were just talking to each other. It was like, we're going to talk about these things regardless of whether anyone else is like following along or not. Because everything was, at that point, it's all about details. Just so many details. Really, really fine, specific details. Speaking of fine, Novofine. Hello, what's up? Hey, how's it going? What if I do this? You're good? That's good to hear. Unless you don't want to be good for some reason, in which case it'd be bad that you're good. Oh, the subtleties do make all the difference. And more as things get, as, you know, your playing gets more refined, or, you know, it just, as things improve in terms of knowledge, experience, all that stuff, your sort of return on investment gets smaller and smaller, but you make smaller and smaller gains with some big jumps periodically, but for the most part, it's just like more and more details, more details, more details. Whereas in the beginning, you have all this stuff to, you know, make improvements on. But that's just how life goes. Oh, we can do some. Yep. We're in D. I'll keep it here for a second and play the thing that's on the stand right there. So I had just played some Italian Renaissance lute music. Now for some a Catalan folk song. Lusgarten, or maybe Lusgarten. Thank you for the Prime sub. What's up? Welcome. I feel like I don't recognize your name. Let me check and see. Yep, 0 messages. Okay. So, and no, dude, the Prime before the follow. The Prime before the follower chat. One of the more epic Chad moves on Twitch. So thank you for the support. Okay, so you know what was weird and perfect yesterday that I couldn't have planned? So I mentioned before that I'd like to spread the gospel of the power of the internet with people. Elliot Fisk played a concert last night, and I was sitting with Adam, who I've mentioned to a bunch of you before. He's the person who I'm going to be studying with. And at the intermission, the person sitting behind me, there was a younger kid sitting behind me. If you're the person in this story, speak now or forever hold your peace. Or you don't have to forever hold your peace. Dude, Nick, what's up? And Nick was there actually. Well, I don't. And in the intermission, I was just sort of sitting there right as the intermission started, and someone said my name from behind. But it was Schnaff. I was like, what the hell? What the hell? And he was someone who had watched the stream, and I guess is a dirty lurker, and has never said anything because I was like, what's your name on Twitch? But he was saying how he watched Nick too, watched Guitar Shredder, and Adam was like, what the heck? Like, look at it was like, that's crazy. I was like, it is crazy, kind of, but also it's like, I'm telling you guys, there's something here. Now it turns out this is a young kid, who is actually going to be studying at URI, so we'll be colleagues. He's doing his undergrad, and I'll be doing the masters. But it was really interesting to see that, and also had never happened to me. No, I guess that had happened once outside of TwitchCon. But that was a little different because I was hanging out with someone who I knew from Twitch, so they kind of knew someone from Twitch. But yeah, and I met some people and talked to them. We went out after the concert. I talked with someone a lot. His name John, right? Nick, the person John who does the Just for Guitars. What's the name of the thing? Yeah, John. We were talking about. I feel like he's the Instagram and YouTube version of me on Twitch for the classical guitarist. Okay, yeah. He's trying to do his vision is very similar to mine in terms of trying to reach out to as many people in the guitar world as possible and be like, hey guys, here's what we can do to sort of bring the guitar, the classical guitar, and you can maybe say classical music in general, but let's focus on the guitar for now, and sort of usher it into the 21st century in some new ways. So what did Adam say? Adam didn't really say anything. He literally said, that's crazy. And I was just like looking like back and forth. I was like, that's crazy. And I was like, yeah, dude, that is kind of crazy. But from the 19th straight into the 21st century. But yeah, so that was something that was very interesting to see and completely unexpected, because I think for obvious reasons. The festival was super fun. Dude, it would have been cool if you came out after, but I also understand you had a long drive. Because we went out to this place there were like 25 people at this relatively small bar, and the waitress was totally overwhelmed. I felt really bad. You slept forever last night? Yeah, dude, Lone Star Taco Bar. Adam's secretly impressed? I mean, maybe, but I think it was maybe impressed in like a almost literal in sense, not like, whoa, that's cool, but like, oh wow, okay. Like in terms of making an impression or something. Like this is a real thing, because words don't mean very much in life. Some would say talk is cheap. Hello, Jackie. Jackie Smacky. What's up? So, yeah. Alpo, hello. What is a hobby of yours? Nerdy and obscure is good. Not that not nerdy and not obscure is bad, but a lot of times people are hesitant to share the nerdy stuff. But Twitch is here. It is! In just live streaming in general. So I don't even care if it's Twitch specifically. There's nothing fundamentally special about Twitch. Yeah, it's the interface and the sort of culture around it lends itself to being more interactive, but you could... There's no physical barriers really stopping any other platform from being like this. It doesn't... The people who run those companies would just have to care enough about it to make the changes, but it's not really difficult. Live streaming is basically live streaming. Rubik's Cubes. What's your best time? I was never good at Rubik's Cube. I like learned how to solve one, but in a very inefficient way, a very procedural, inefficient way, and then kind of just got bored. But I know some people who are really into it. When you see online famous people IRL, you usually leave them alone. You'd get stressed. People came up to you. Yeah, so you're like, you and I are similar, and I think Guitar Shred is the same too. So when people were like, it's like, I don't really have much of a desire to go up to someone who's popular or something, who just doesn't know me at all, and all of a sudden just start talking to him. I actually do, well, in a certain sense, I do have a deep desire if there's someone who I respect, but it's difficult to, it would have to be a situation where the interaction wouldn't be superficial. And that's, so, yeah, that's, so just like walking up to someone and saying something briefly, I mean, I don't know, if that was me, I think it's cool. I think it maybe depends on how much attention you get on a regular basis. If you're a celebrity who gets recognized all the time and just gets bombarded with people, you'd probably want to not have that happen. But like, to have someone come up and want to express gratitude for something you've done, I feel like that's a pretty cool thing. Yeah, the Elliot Fisk receiving line, I was like, yeah, no, I don't need to take a picture with Elliot. I really don't. Yeah, I don't. That's also because Zyder is a little energy filled. All right. She was literally doing more promotion stuff at the bar. It's like, geez, please stop. You know, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna play, I dedicate this next piece to Guitar Shredder. Yohiza, what's up? You popped in just a minute ago. You said yo, I forgot. Maybe he already knows what I'm gonna play based on my left hand. You two, we were, Nad, look in the Discord, you'll see. I'm sorry, Nick, but I really like this piece. And I'll play it till the day I die. And I'll enjoy it, just like Romanza. And Adelita. And Lagrima. The beard cam command only works if it happens to be pressed right before my foot hits the pedal that actually changes the scenes. Now you might say, oh, doesn't that mean it doesn't work then? In which case I'd say, yes, that's actually accurate. That's correct. Thanks for the claps. Lemur, what's up? Thank you for the claps as well. I really need to do the, for some reason I only remember this with like tremolo pieces, but I really should incorporate it into just every piece I play. But the thing is, I get tricked because I usually press the reverb. I usually unmute the reverb right before I play, and if that happens, the foot pedal won't apply to OBS. And trust me, you don't want the pedal to apply to OBS at all times. You only want to do it when the window's open. And actually, not just that, I have to be clicked on the scenes in OBS for it to properly work. It's a good thing that that's the case, but it just means I have to remember. So I usually forget. So it means then the beard cam really doesn't work. Don't ever stop playing that piece. Yeah, I won't. I was ranting about this in line at the concert. Some people looked at me. Nick, I don't know. That was one of the things I was talking to Kaylee about in the line before Elliot's concert. And because she was saying something like that, I didn't even bring it up, but she was saying something like that, how she was a little discouraged by the fact that a lot of stuff she likes to play is sometimes like part of the, like Segovia repertoire, or just like isn't really flashy or something, and it can kind of like almost it can kind of get looked down upon, maybe even if it's not explicitly stated. I forget what I yelled. I was like, dude, like, and being way too loud. A bunch of people looked, but I didn't care. I'm glad they looked. I hope they heard what I was saying. Oh, you know what was really cool too? So the kid behind me, he's like relative, I think he's 18 or 19. He was it was the first time he had seen Elliot in person, and he was like, I was not an Elliot Fisk fan for all the reasons that people aren't. And I'm super happy that the encore piece he played was the piece that he played. It was the most pure, refined, squeakless and buzzless performance of anything you've ever seen, because it was a delicate piece and it was so pristine. No extraneous noises, complete. And and immediately after I was like, there you go. I was also happy because he saw one of the masterclass. He saw Elliot's masterclass, which is another thing. If you're a hater, you can still hate, but I'd suggest seeing him in person and also watching a masterclass, so that you realize what's actually going on behind the scenes. But it was almost like a perfect encore piece for this person. Zach, if you're watching, again, that's right. Work up sweat just by trying to manage OBS. Hey, if I could hire engineers and a team of people around me, I'd do it. Oh my God. Marco's outfit, definitely one for outfit. Definitely one for weird outfit. Did I ask Ellie about the harpsichord sound? I did not. He came to like the dinner thing, but or the stuff afterwards, but he was at the old person's table. Ayo. I don't know. I'll ask him one time. I should do like a lesson. I think it'd be interesting to do a lesson with him. I'd like to ask him two things: his harpsichord sound, and two, his anything and everything when it comes to like his approach to Bach, because he's someone else who's also obsessed with him. But it's more than so one of the things that sticks out to people, and this is what Steve Connor said, I think you were standing there, that like when he plays really Ponticello, but Ponticello is not harpsichord. There's something about, I'm pretty sure it has to do with more so with articulation, and a particular, to generalize it, I think part of it has to do with like, yes, it's often Ponticello. So for those who don't know, Ponticello means when you play closer to the bridge here, and it makes it twangier. He studied with Ralph Kirkpatrick, and if you're gonna study with someone, you would hope that they influence you. So if your primary instructor is a harpsichord player, it's like you're gonna be a harpsichordist. The other thing is his articulation, not articulation, ornamentation is very harpsichord-like, which is probably why he's so heavily reliant. Probably one of the reasons. It's like heavily ornamented and with as many cross-string trills as possible. But I think there's like this. Like something kind of like that going on. It's hard to explain. And again, I almost can't even explain it because I'd have to know what was going on to be able to explain it, and I don't know what's going on, but I know I've heard a lot of harpsichord stuff, and I love the harpsichord, and I've never heard someone do that with a guitar before. Pumping his left hand on the neck, yeah, and just does this to mute the strings, which you're told not to do. Okay, music. Oh God, should I try to play some Scarlatti? See, I'll go like boom, which is different from. That's me attempting to do it. It also helps to practice music too. Sometimes. If you suck, good people don't need to practice. Haha, just kidding. Dolce, what's up? How's it going? And Sheaves, what's up? Actually, it's probably Sunday evening for most. It is Sunday evening for, statistically speaking, the majority of us, yeah. It should be, not, it shouldn't be da-da-da-da. Well, shouldn't be, if you want it to be more, I guess. Have I played any remote? No, actually, not really. I've read through some stuff, but instead of also. Picked it up and was just a legend instantly? No. Not a single person has ever done that. That sounds sarcastic, but it's just, no one's ever done that. On it, that's just not. I bring up some of this stuff sometimes when it has to do with like learning. A lot of times it has to do with like music theory and stuff. And I bring up this point for a very good reason, because I'd be willing to bet that a large number of people think that humans do this with things in life. Virtuosos start as trash at some point. Now, they maybe learn fast and do it and get to a high level at a young age or something, but they don't. It's almost hard to explain any more than just as direct as it is. Like, you can't. I don't know how to say. Like, I don't know how to say it. You suck at everything when you first start out. I left that pause there so you could clip it and make me look like a terrible person. FM Remix, hello. How's it going? Everyone sucks at everything. You have to. It's almost difficult. Even if you like went from knowing nothing to being the best piano player ever in one day, you still started out and sucked the first time. Like, you have to. I'm not really like. But if you've seen that, that's almost its own thing. That's almost like, I don't know, you'd have to give me an example, but there are physical things involved, there's coordination, people just tend to not see the person when they're bad because, well, the person isn't popular at that point. They're popular once they're good, once they're really good. So you see them, even if they're young too, and like, oh, they must have just came out of the womb like that, but it's not. It's not. Playing almost 40 years, I still trash. Well, that's because it takes work. You can't just do stuff. And it's also not sheer hours put into something. It's, in order to get better at something, you have to work and improve. And that sounds obvious, but I know that your comment is sort of like a joke, but there's something very true or something very not comedic in a lot of people's views when they say that, and that's is that they're not thinking about the fact that not only do you need to put in time, again, you have to put in focused time. You no one starts out good, and everyone has to put in work. I'm not sure, like it almost sounds stupid to need to say, or patronizing to say it, but I do actually believe it needs to be said. Yeah, exactly. Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't just you know, what was his title? Mr. Universe or yeah, you got to figure things out. You got to figure things and or like yeah, you could play a game casually. Dude, I played through the game a million times. It's like, okay. If you haven't focused on learning about the game and talked to other people and looked into all this stuff, then you just don't know. There's so much about the game you don't know. Also, someone said, "Oh, what style of music am I playing right now?" So, classical guitar, but more specifically, that was music from the Baroque era. It was Italian keyboard music, more specifically, but also Scarlatti was heavily influenced by his time spent in Spain, with some compositions more than others, but you could say Italian Baroque keyboard music. As opposed to, this is an example of French Baroque keyboard music. Not that every Italian Baroque keyboard piece sounds like the one I did, not like every French Baroque keyboard piece is going to sound like this, but they are just different. And yeah, everything I said, I'm the exception, and I actually came out of my mom's womb really just being the best guitarist ever. It's why I'm so rich and famous, because my talent is undeniable. What happened since birth? See, that's the part I left out. I had a terrible accident when I was young, and it made me lose all that skill. So now I'm in the trash form that you see today. Just kidding. I make mistakes on purpose so that I don't make other people feel bad. Boom. That's how good I am. I have to practice so much. I need to practice more. I gotta practice. God, I gotta practice. Okay. Les Barricades Mystérieuses by François Couperin. Okay. Oh, I wish Hungen was here. Dude, I got some payback. There was this couple from France. One of the guy was a guitar player. His name was Pierre. I say it like that. That's sort of an inside joke with the people who've seen the Caitlin Riley thing. And I feel like there was some payback because he kept making fun of us. His American impression is when people like something, they go, "It's good." Apparently, that's how Americans sound to him. It's good. Like, God damn it. It's not wrong. Amanda, thank you for the 27-month resub with the sip emote. As usual, how are you doing? They do sound. That's what I was saying. I was like, oh my god. Especially because someone said the waitress came over and was like, how are the dips or the chips? And she was like, it's good. And he goes, it's good. I was like, whoops. One more thing. The waitress was 19, was from France, and had the most perfect American accent ever. That the two people from France had no idea and almost didn't believe she was from France when she started just randomly speaking French and taking their order in French. It turns out she moved here when she was 13 and just speaks the most perfect English ever. So you know how all the French people think they speak English well? I'm just kidding. It's fine. It's fine. But it was actually legitimately perfect. And I mean, like, it was kind of crazy. All right. Is Cactus at a different festival? I mean, he must have been, because I wasn't there the whole time, but I also doubt he'd fly across the continent just to go to this festival, but, and thanks, Amanda. I have one change that I'm going to make after the stream. I thought of it just as I was starting the stream here. I think I can actually light up the tree better and remove the shadow above it. It'll be annoying. I'll have to run the cord through the ceiling here and hang the light that's shining on it, but whatever. I want it to look nice. Man, is this part always gonna be a pain in the butt? So it also helps if I could have it memorized, but My hand is as uncomfortable as it looks for anyone who... For anyone who looks at a lot of guitarists' hands. Also, Nick saw my tapered fingertips. They're really tapered. It makes playing difficult. I'm a freak. Should I try to read some stuff? Some Italian lute, some Italian Renaissance lute music. What do I mean tapered? Meaning my fingers go like this towards the tip. So like you're supposed to press on the tips, but like they come to like a point. So I have to play here, but the more, if you want to play here and my fingers are come to a point and also don't curve like this at all, it means in order to hit the same spot, my fingers have to be like this, but then the guitar neck gets in the way. So where it's like your finger should maybe look like this, that's the equivalent for me is like kind of like this, which is obviously a problem. So it's just mechanically, like if you were to build a guitar playing robot, you wouldn't model it after my fingers. It'd be a poor engineering decision. What's up, Saito? I swear I wasn't making it up. You guys saw it. It's in person. It's real. And also at the table, because Adam brought this up, he was talking about how he wishes his hands spread out in a different way, and I was like, dude, guys, try to do this. Can you cross your fingers? And everyone was like, yeah, why? I was like, I told you guys I'm not making this stuff up. You just, if you don't play guitar, you just don't think about things that your hand needs to do, because in no other time in life do you need to do this. But also, please shut that dog up. It's a good thing I can improvise music on the piano. Thanks, Ash. Yeah, it's easier for everyone to put their middle finger over their ring than their ring finger over their middle. But in terms of guitar, this is a million times more common than this. Yeah, what's up, Count? Okay, hopefully we don't get any crazy noises while I'm doing this. I mentioned Adelita and Lagrima earlier, so maybe I can play those. Not maybe, I'll play them. Maybe I can try to change the camera angle too, just for fun. So where is it? God. No, I didn't. Come down the stairs, just come down the stairs. you go, Saito. That was my... Was I switching the scenes correctly? Were things changing? Was the camera changing? Couldn't see. Because I was blindfolded. You are very welcome, Les Garden, and thank you again for the subscription. Speaking of, if anyone else would like to help support the stream, you can subscribe, donate, cheer some bits. Subscribing and donating is actually the best, but it gets you emotes, a cool badge that means you're better than other people that don't have the badge. Wait. You can also request a song from the song list. You won't get ads, all sorts of stuff. What's up, Lola? Lola, when I do the Graston stuff, is my arm supposed to be sore the next day? I mean, you said it was, but like, am I just not going hard enough? I think I asked this before. Because I keep doing it, not like every day, obviously, but every time I do it, my arm isn't sore the next day, so it makes me think I'm like not doing it right or not pressing hard enough. Thank you for the 100 bits. It's normal. Yeah, but I'm not sore. I'm not sore. That's what I mean. Is it normal to not be sore after doing it? Does that mean I'm not? I just want to make sure I'm actually doing it right and getting something out of it, so I'm not just, I don't know, sitting around taking just a thing to my arm, like it's for fun. And by fun, I mean not fun. I'm not sore. I'm not Fernando sore. How much pressure am I using? I'm trying to use a lot. Like, I don't know why I said it. I'm trying to use a lot. I got this thing, which this really is amazing. I mean, there's so many little details about it that are actually useful for so many different things. So thank you again for linking this, because I would have never found it. But I'm using the ridged one for part of it, this one for another part. It feels nicer to hold the thicker part for obvious reasons. Yeah, I never feel sore the next day. So speaking of sore, I can try to do something that, again, I haven't been working on, but you don't need to practice stuff, again, when you're as good as I am. Notice the sarcasm. So what do you think of the video I sent you? Oh, I need to, I looked at it and I thought about the thumbnail and I actually talked to someone else about it. I'll have to DM you about some of the thoughts. The thing about music like this is that it needs to be elegant and charming most of the time. And if something's gonna be elegant, charming, refined, all this stuff, well, it has to be refined. It has to be. So if you're hesitant and not practiced with it, the chance of making it sound refined is it goes down. Terabytes, what's up? You say, hey, playing acoustic, small hands, I guess. Yeah, I mean, so a lot of people think hand size is just like, it's just like an all or nothing thing. But then there are other people who think hand size just doesn't mean anything and you just have to get good. There's an in-between. There's an in-between place. Having small hands does not help you out. It doesn't. It just doesn't. Now, depending on what you want to play, look, if you were taking your acoustic guitar and you were going like this, your hand size doesn't really matter. It's more for like the classical stuff like this when you have to make, and you have to do this and make open position chords, you're fine. It's an issue of technique. when you start getting to some other stuff, it'll go beyond technique, where like your anatomy can help you depending on what it's like, and can hinder you. Yo, Rich, what's up, dude? And it's more than that too. It's your flexibility. It's your flexibility. It's the length of your fingers compared to this. So you could be like, oh, measure from your wrist to here, but that's not the whole story. Some people's palms are smaller and their fingers are longer to compensate. So their hand from wrist to, middle fingertip may be the same, but they can actually reach farther and do more because the finger is longer. Or maybe their fingers spread out more or cross over more. That's my issue. Is my hand is just like a block. It's not freakishly small, but it's not big, but it is kind of freakishly rigid. Not freakishly, but it's in a really small percentile. There's also clubbed fingers, yeah, which definitely doesn't help. That messes with your nails too. It makes it gives you some serious nail shape problems. The F major in the BWV 999 Prelude. Yeah. So what Nad's talking about is this. If you want to do this, which is essentially what's written, you can only get good. You can only good enough your way into this before you just go, yeah, I'm just going to play this F up here. And there can be ways around this stuff. So it's not like you're just screwed. But what it means is you'll have to put in more effort than some other people in certain areas of playing. Things will just be harder for you. Which no one wants, right? That's discouraging. Hey, this person is going to do it easier than you and it has nothing to do with them as a person or anything they've ever done or whatever. They're just born that way. And you didn't do anything wrong, but it's going to be harder for you. All right, have fun. It's like, oh, what the fuck? What the hell? And then you curse the heavens, or you pick to get a guitar and everything. Yeah, what the... So... They do mix. I wanted a 630 scale 10 years ago, and I was essentially laughed away from the proposition. There's so much stuff I don't know, but there are certain things that I very deeply believe for very good reasons, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating. I hope one day I can be in a position where people, more or less, are receptive to the things that I say. At the moment, for obvious reasons, that's not the case. Your favorite finger? Obey. Oh, wayo. Favorite finger? It depends on what you want to work on. I mean, there are like, I know that's probably not a fun answer. In fact, that's not a fun answer at all. That's not the answer you were looking for, but it really depends. It just depends on what you're targeting. And again, some people find some things to be more difficult than other people because people are different. Their anatomy is different. The things they focus on are different. So it really just, it really depends. It really depends. What I can say is something that's universally unnatural for, you're just trying to hear me play. I mean, I'll play every stream. There's hours and hours and hours of music, but you you've just entered in here, but the other people haven't. They've been here for an hour and a half. And usually the streams go 4 or 5 hours. You don't want 5 hours of music. That'd be mind-numbingly boring. At least it would be for me. I'd lose my mind. Jeez. 5 hours of just playing? Sounds miserable. So, but if you actually want an exercise, doing something like this is one of the most unnatural things humans could do, because we're not supposed to, our hands are basically, we're like Ninja Turtles. Thumb, index, incredibly special, and these three might as well just be one finger. So to ask of your hand something like this is asking a lot of it, and that is what classical guitar in particular demands of you. Doing stuff like this or splitting them this way. And this is again where the finger shape comes in, because if I want to do this, if I want to maximize this distance, look what starts happening to this one. But imagine if this finger was curved. This would now be the pad of my finger instead of my nail. And so with this same distance and everything, your spot to aim at would be bigger. And I can't practice bending my finger. I can't heat it up and curve it like a piece of wood or metal. So, it sucks. But doing this, in particular, between these two fingers, in between these two fingers, because they're the weakest and they're the most connected, as opposed to like these two. And yeah, this. See, so if I aim for this spot, I mean, look how much on the tip it is. My finger will bend in, which isn't ideal, but I don't know. Maybe one day I'll reach an acceptance with the cards I've been dealt in life. Oh, okay. What was I saying? About something elegant? So this won't be anywhere close to the refinement that I'd like it to be, but I play it once every few weeks or something, so maybe once a month. It's a set of theme and variations. Here's the theme. Did I get my mic back? No, it's not even gonna reach the company till Friday, so. Okay, so that's the theme. It's in 2 sections. So you heard. This is technically Spanish. Sor was from Spain. So this is Spanish classical into the Romantic era guitar music. told you, it's good. You should see what happens. You should see what it sounds like when it's played well. Luke, thank you for the raid. What's up? How's it going? And Katie, I'm assuming that's Katie O'Flaherty? Is it Irish? Are you Irish by any chance? What's up, Tough Juice? Luke, how was the stream? What were you up to? You are? Okay, cool. I'm trying to think if I play any Irish music, but I don't. I pronounced it perfect? Nice. Nice. That's something I sort of, I guess you could say take pride in, but I really just like it because it makes people feel good when you say their name right. Like when the person last night introduced himself as Pierre, but he introduced himself as Pierre, and I said it back, and he was like, it can be nice. It's like, my name's Pierre, and then you go, oh yeah, Pierre. And I go, yeah, you're American. Tough Juice, thank you for the 26 bits. You were streaming some games with Elvie, nice. What games are you playing? This this scale doesn't really work if it's what calls you Shivas? Shivas Y123. Diablo 4. How are you liking it? I've seen a lot of people playing it. I never really played any of the Diablo games, but I think I'd really like them. I like grinding stuff out like that. I like hack and slash stuff like that. Insomniac Rap collab with Schnaff Acoustics. Schnackoustics. Maybe one day. That's perfect. If something gradually gets harder, that's what humans like. You don't want it to be too easy, you don't want it to be too difficult. You want it to almost be fair in its difficulty. I have not played FF16 yet. I don't have a console to play it on. Okay, I could try some sight reading. That's what I was gonna do before, maybe like 20 minutes ago. Anybody here know who Francesco da Milano was? An Italian Renaissance lute composer. This is a Reacher car, which is like a predecessor to the fugue. So what it means is you get a theme and it gets imitated. So in music, imitation is like if something goes, you may hear it in another voice. Or maybe it's something like that. So that's what you're gonna see here. I've never played this before, but it looks like the theme really is just the first thing we hear, which is I shouldn't have played those other notes, but that's the theme. Okay, and then it gets copied an octave down. and then an octave. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, although it looks like a sort of incomplete version, but so that's something to look out for. Let me put on this sight reading thing so people don't think I'm completely terrible at guitar. Yeah, the hype will be gone, Cal, but I'm still down. I'm gonna play it regardless. Tough Juice also, thank you for 26 more bits. Random number of bits, so that's fine, I guess. Now, that's actually supposed to be something closer to twice as fast, but there was no way I was gonna sight read it like that and have it be have any chance of being I don't know, enjoyable in some way. It should have been something closer to like all right, I guess especially here, jeez. What's up, Timon? How have you been? And Ro, hello. What is this emo? Okay. Badass? Thanks. I was wondering how people felt about it. It was dead silence. It's dead silence. And there's an eyelash in my... Soothing, thanks. Here's one in D major. I'm always torn with the sight reading stuff. Because the overall product is is less, but if one doesn't take into consideration the actual act and what's involved when trying to sight read something. I'll try one more. Depending on how it makes me feel, I may move on to something else. We'll do it like this. Thanks, Dolce. Yeah, this is just another Reacher car. I'm gonna do it slower again. That's the tempo that it sort of should be at, but no. not only a beautiful musician, but also a very talented teacher. Thanks, Ash. Yeah, the teaching stuff is very important to me. And teaching in an unconventional way. It's more like trying to spread awareness more than it is, you know, the typical sense of teaching. Which is another thing I was talking to some people about last night. When asked what it is I actually do when I stream. And thanks for the claps. Only really listen to symphonic and piano stuff, as that's what you play. Yeah, the guitar world is so new and intriguing. The guitar world is, so it's like there's the music world and there's the classical stuff, which is a small part of it at this point in terms of what most people are exposed to. What most of you are, you know, who are watching right now are likely to be exposed to, if no effort by you is put in. Within that small classical world, one of the smallest worlds within it is, in terms of picking an instrument and having that be how you were talking about different worlds, is probably classical guitar, where our major composers are unknown by most people, even well-trained classical musicians. And so it's not just that, but also the people who are the big names that most people know basically didn't write anything for this instrument either. So Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, Brahms, Tchaikovsky, Stravinsky, Liszt, Chopin, all these people. Schubert, Schumann. I don't know, you could just didn't write for this. So it's like, it's the world of obscure within an already obscure world. And even the stuff I'm playing wasn't written for guitar. The guitar didn't exist at this point. It didn't exist in any form at this point. You can maybe say a vihuela. Or something that was kind of a guitar, but again, it didn't look like this at all. And even later, the Baroque guitar didn't look like this. It wasn't approached in the same way as this. It was very different. There's no real place. Yep, it doesn't have. Well, neither does a piano really, except in the form of a concerto. But it is certainly the solo repertoire. The instrument is relatively new, all things considered, you can say. And even when it did exist in this form, it was not taken very seriously. In a lot of ways, it's still not taken very seriously, but I'm looking through this and wondering if there's something that looks like it could be not insane to read. This is an E minor. Just need a renegade composer with the guitar. Yeah, I don't know if there's, the thing is, I don't know if there's, I don't know. Oh, re-engage. Just need to re-engage. Yeah, it would help if I could read. Just need to re-engage composers with the guitar. The thing is, it's a very difficult instrument to write for, both in terms of what's physically playable. It's tricky because it's deceiving what's possible to be played. Because it's like, oh, it's a polyphonic instrument, so boom, let's just go. It's like, yeah. Even people who are really smart. One example of this is when Benjamin Britten was writing the Nocturne for Julian Bream. At one point he wrote, I believe it was an F sharp and an E at the same time. Stuff like that. Was like, and Bream had to be like, just, you can't do that on a guitar, dude. I'm sure he said it just like that, but you can't do that. It's very quirky, and it's very difficult to make things sound good. I think that was Paco de Lucia. It's like, it's very easy to be bad at the guitar. Hey, I know it sounds like stuff I've been saying, but look, don't it wasn't me. It was Paco de Lucia. So don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. It's one of the greatest guitarists ever. So don't get mad at me. It's true though. There are a lot of really bad guitarists in the world. And I don't mean not experts. I mean like really bad. So all right, I'm gonna stop being a jerk. Or am I? And Vol brought up another part too. It's very quiet. It's quiet. It's difficult to play. It's annoying. And it has a tradition of not being something featured in this way. It's the instrument of the people. It's an instrument of it accompanies by its original nature. But the thing is, do major works need to be written for the guitar? I mean, maybe you could do that. I mean, certainly you can do that. But this is what we were sort of talking about last time. That I feel like what the guitar does best is charm. It works great in the world of the small. The delicate, the melancholy, the sad, the intimate, the close, stuff like that. Its detail is one of the things I love so much about it, which is why, oh God, I'm not even sure I like guitar quartets. If you go more than two I think guitar works best solo. And this may be a hot take in the classical guitar world, but even duos, I feel like it's tough. And after that, the details start to get lost and it sounds like a whole bunch of plinking. Plink, 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 plink. Like, it just sounds like plinking. The culmination of sounds of multiple guitars does not seem to add up to be greater than the sum of its parts. Whereas for the human voice, I do believe that's the case. God, when you get a bunch of people together, holy shit. It's one of the best sounds ever. Guitar and a string quartet? I don't even think it works well like that. Now again, this is just my opinion, but my opinion's always right. So, wait, did I just say that? No, but kind of. If I didn't believe my opinion, why would I have it? So, don't ask me to not believe my opinion. So, and it's one of these things, so I feel like there's an effort to, there's a push for virtuosity and a push to go beyond maybe what the guitar seems to do the best, which I understand and I respect and I appreciate and I think is a good thing, but at the same time, share my opinion with the LA Guitar Quartet. I saw them in person. It was nice, but like it's not what I prefer. I'm sorry. I don't know. It's just not what I prefer. Like I didn't. Not to. You know. I'm not. Okay. God. I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to piss the world off. Right. I'd rather listen to. You know. Look. You don't have to like everything I like, and I don't have to like everything you like. Damn it. I get my opinions, and so do you. I have a lot of opinions that people don't like that are of the opposite nature. Again, I feel like Elliot gets a lot of hate, and I understand why, too. I like it, and I understand, and I'm not mad that people dislike his playing. I'm not mad that people dislike Glenn Gould's playing and recordings because he, you know, makes vocalizations over it. Like, who am I to tell you that? Like, I don't know. If you don't want to hear someone going, like, even if it's, you know, taken out in the background, like, like, if you don't want to hear that while someone's playing the piano, I mean, what am I supposed to say? I mean, honestly, I don't prefer it being in there, but it's in there. And the playing, I think, makes up for the amount that the vocalizations detract. The playing just, it doesn't take away enough. There are people who like to hear that? Who like to hear what? Who like to hear someone being like, oh, yeah, ah, oh. I don't know if anybody likes to hear that. I know some people say it. I'm not sure I believe them. Glenn Gould is one of my favorite pianists ever. I don't like the vocalizations. They just, again, the way that explains my opinion on it is that it just doesn't detract anywhere near enough that would make it so that it'd be like, I don't like his playing or something like that. So. All right, let me not do sight reading stuff for a bit. I don't know. Does anybody have any preferences of what you like to do? Would anybody like to request something, especially if you've subscribed, or if you haven't, you can. Anything I play? Okay. Again, if anyone would like to help support the stream, subscribing helps. You also get emotes, a badge. You can request a song. You get 0 ads. It helps me. Also, it helps with encouragement and helps support the channel so I can keep doing this stuff. What I showed with the whole orchestra guitars playing, oh, the Bach toccata and fugue in D minor. Yeah, that was electric guitars though. That was different. I've been saying just guitar today, but it's always just been classical guitar. I've just been dropping the classical part just for efficiency's sake. But yeah. Although, geez, groups of electric guitars is very rare too, but maybe I have 2 in a band. And it starts to get more rare after that. Ah, man, I'm kind of... Do I want to... No, okay, I'm going to... What's up, Scare Me Now? Thanks, pardon. Yeah, Al, it's hard. I don't know which part that's referring to because there's a delay, but this piece has lots of really nice melodic stuff hidden within it that I see as my job as the person playing to try to bring out. So what is it? Thanks for the claps. On the B and G. I'm trying to think of there's things like. There's also that one's kind of crazy. There's like two melodies. One like is like lagging behind it for a bit. They're both outlining like an E minor chord, but they towards the end and they like overlap. It goes, and the other one goes. Whoops. And the other one goes. I also like this part. The top, the two voices trade off with each other in a very specific way. They may be better to show on the keyboard than anything else. So if we go. So if you take part of it, it looks like just one continuous line going down. And that is what you hear, but because at one point the top voice stops, it splits up. They trade off at this point here. This very Bach thing. So that's. Oh, that one. Oh, that there. Okay. Well, there's a couple of here's another one. This is what I okay. This is what I see as being lacking more and more in playing, and the people who bring this stuff out, it's what I really like. The person who I feel like does this the best is not even a guitarist, but it's Hilary Hahn playing Bach. And I mean, I guess that's one of the things that Glenn Gould does, and one of the things that Elliot does. It's these things, for me personally, is one of the things that makes it so great. It's not necessarily just like dynamics. You know, like one part's quieter, then it's loud. It's like tone changes. Like, yeah. But like, what about the stuff that's in the music? Like the stuff that's in the notes. So, so if we do this. So it's not da ba 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 bum ba 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 bum. It's da 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 ba bum da that right there. Yeah, I've never heard, because it's tempting to do this, because here's what's written in the music. It's this. Da ba 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 bum ba ba dee ba 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 bum da da dee da ba 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 ba. That is written in. That's like correct. Right? If you were to look at the lines and see how the stems are pointing and all that stuff, that's what you'd see. Da ba 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 bum da da dee da. And you could maybe even say, well, what I'm trying to do here is create contrast between the two things, this call and response thing. But there's always been something else. I didn't look at the music and analyze it. I didn't like try to go like, I feel like playing this, but I'm seeing something else here. It's almost like the opposite, where it's something about intuition, maybe you could say, which is something that was brought up yesterday, which in one of the master classes. But and so if you have bum 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 da 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 da, it feels like you almost get the best of both worlds, where you get this melody where otherwise it wouldn't be very melodic. It's not a very singing thing to go ba 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 bum do da dee da. Like, it's not very, typically arpeggios aren't a melodic thing. This is an oversimplification, but that's typically not melodic. Try singing it, as opposed to if you want to do it, you can do it slower. Even that boom 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 boom, that's a pretty big jump. Boom boom boom. So I'm just messing around, just showing that this is melodic something. Whereas this just isn't, or like it's just, in fact, if you were to do that, you'd probably break it up. It's bound to all of a sudden be broken up into two things. I was just making that up. So in this, it sounds more like an exercise. Well, it depends. You can play anything like an exercise versus not an exercise. Like, this could be like an exercise. This is not melodic whatsoever. When just purely looking at the notes. It's just a series of arpeggios. But you could try, if you want, you could try to make a melody somewhere. You could maybe go. You can almost see this in this, you know, in this visualization here by having the note be longer as opposed to. So if you look at the note, that's the highest, the one farthest to the right. Which is, this is how it's written out. It's written out as these two notes as being held out like this and in the right hand. You can maybe think of these two as the melody if you want. That's like kind of up to you. All of this is up to you. That's why it's interpretation as opposed to, you know, just playing the thing as it's, that there's like one correct way of doing it, because there isn't. So this is where, if we go back to this, I just, whoops. I like having this here. And I said just a minute ago that's the best of both worlds, because you actually still get this, you get this back and forth of the arpeggios around it, but if you keep these notes there, you get a melody along with it too. You can still go like bum, 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 bum. I'm not gonna be able to sing both of them. I can sing the melody part. I'll play it twice. I'll sing the melody. Bum, 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 bum. And I'm still gonna play it like that, but now I'll sing the call and response thing. It's hard to do like that because my ear, I'm always listening for this. But you could do all sorts of things, but it's probably good to do something with it. But I just love, especially because and then it all comes together and the note values increase, which is a great way to build up direction and build up tension before it gets resolved. As opposed to I can't sing two notes at once. Cadence kind of deal. Yeah, well, actually, this is part of the cadence, but really the cadence actually comes before this. That's essentially an extension of just this chord. This is where the cadence really came in. I'll say cadence. Cadence. The cadence is 3, 4, 5, 1. these cadences are super important. We could take that idea, especially because Bach loves that, very specifically loves that. We don't have a low B, so we can't go down, so it's... And even more specifically, this is something he's acknowledged is 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. But a slightly simpler version. So instead of, if this is 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1. Or just 3, 4, 5, 5, 1. Dude, Al, thank you for the $5. And again for the $10 last stream. I'll show you some of the power of this. If we go 3, I should 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1. And you can say to yourself, where do you want to cadence next? Essentially, where do you want to land next? Where's your goal? Now your goal can be not dictated, but it could help be guided by this. So for an E minor, we're in the 1 o'clock position. Look for like lowercase e. Anything that's touching that is going to be a place that's it's going to be a relatively easy place to go. It's a neighboring town that we can travel to. So G major, D major, C major, or A minor, or B minor. And so you can pick any one of those places. And Alan Portsian, you Armenian? Portsian? Unless you actually are, but that was actually supposed to be a joke. Your part of your guide there can be looking for where you want to go. So I don't know, just this is where audience participation helps the most. This is where, so someone pick, just as an example, just to show I'm not manipulating things. Someone just pick one of those: C major, G major, A minor, B minor, D major, anything that's bordering that lowercase e. And because everything's about to apply, I'll just do G major. And if you pick G major, well, I would have preempted it. So what you're gonna do is find your target. Okay, B minor. So what you're gonna do is find your target B, find the list of stuff here, the new set of scale degrees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But we need 2, 3, 4, 5. And what you can do is this is a super condensed roadmap. There's going to be nothing in between. It's just going to be pure travel. We're not going to stay in the town at all, to continue on with this analogy. So if we're in the town of E minor, the city of E minor, and we instantly go like, oh, we're here, but this place sucks. I just want to go somewhere else. Can we go to B minor? Can we go to B minor? I don't want to be here anymore. I hate this vacation. I want to play. You can go 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1. So yeah, if you listen to the Snotty Brat, we go boom, E minor. Want to go to B minor? That's what the bass line sounds like. If we wanted to go to D major, because that's close, and maybe to G major, that's also close. Sorry. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1. And so we can go all over the place. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1. And so what that's the this is not only us moving from place to place without spending any time there. The second we go there, we're instantly going somewhere else. All our time is spent traveling. We're not exploring anything. We're not exploring any of these keys. But what you can do is, so that'll be the basic bass line. And if you're to do this, it doesn't actually have to be just this clear. The other things can happen with the bass line. It can be, I don't want to say ornamented, because ornamenting is something specific in music, but it can be elaborated on. Maybe you could say that. But it kind of is like this. So if we're just in E minor. And I said 2, so this is 2, whoops. And then we have B minor, and then I said D major, so we go. And then we went to G major, right? Which was 2, 3, 4. Well, whoops, sorry. I did this last time too. 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. And now it sounds like I'm playing church music to welcome everybody in. Marshall, welcome in. Hello to everybody. How are you doing? We were just playing some Bach, and now we're talking about cadences and modulating. Does anybody here like harmony and modulating? I do. Jacob Collier does. Marshall, how was your stream? Lupus, what's up? Thanks for the follow. Welcome in Prozac, Pac-Mancia, Quekin. It's like Quake and like Tekken put together. Brazi, huge. Hola Marshall. Infinite. Beto, hello. Welcome in everybody. Beto, thank you for the follow. So what we're talking about here, does anybody know what this thing is? This circle is here? It's a potentially helpful roadmap. What if we're in a key? Who knows what it means to be in a key? And so these can be the frameworks of where you're going. And maybe you actually, it's not just the framework, maybe when it comes to the actual cadence, you quite literally do this like we saw here. So what he's doing is going 3, 3, 4, 5, 1. In a certain sense, yeah. So, you know what? Let me actually play this one more time for the people that came in. So, for one, so I can play music for them. Erica, hello. Welcome in. So I can play some for them, but they'll also be brought up to speed, maybe you could say. So this is a lute piece. It's from one of Bach's lute suites, the Allemande. Fran, thank you for the follow as well. So what we were talking about at the end here was the fact that it goes... and the bass goes bum, 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 bum. And that's the cadence. It's actually an E minor. It's technically a 1 chord, a 2 chord in first inversion, then your 5 chord. Thanks for the claps. Needs more cross string trills. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to plan it out like... I feel like he doesn't do as much. Elliott doesn't do as much of that stuff when he plays Bach. It's not quite the same way as when he plays Scarlatti. I've heard him play this before, actually. So what we were talking about when you guys came in using this is, well, what happens at the end? Where is the actual cadence? And what's the point? And and also what the heck? Because cadence is if you learn it in school, I mean, you think about stuff like this. Does anybody know if we're in C major, you have like, you have an authentic cadence from your 5 chord to 1 chord. It's perfect. It's a perfect authentic cadence if we're in C major here. If C is in the bass and the highest voice, you could say the soprano when we end. So like, whereas in this case, it's imperfect, authentic. There's something more final about a perfect cadence, but there's a plagal cadence. Or maybe. There's a deceptive cadence. Into an authentic cadence. But there's a different way to think about cadences. It's a series of chords that sort of build up to the end. And so what we were talking about when you guys came in was something like this. If we went... and you pick where you want to go. So we did this, and you pick, we look at that little E in the 1 o'clock position on this circle, on this wheel. The lowercase means it's a minor key. The capital letter means it's a major key, and so you can go to any adjacent place. If we're here, if you look at the 1 o'clock position, it means you can go anywhere that's still on that 1 o'clock slice, or the 2 o'clock or 12 o'clock slice. So maybe over to B minor is what someone said. So here. I shouldn't play to D. Jay, thank you for gifting us up to Marshall. She is 783. Jay, the legend. And thank you. Oh, and you resubbed right before that. I thought that was like the same message. Thank you for the 18-month resub. Jay, which key do you want to go to? And thank you for gifting us sub to It's Not Lupus. Oh, thank God it's not Lupus. So, want to go to B minor? You have the bass go 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1. I should have just said 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, If you want to go to D major, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1. Over to G major, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1. To C major, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1. To A minor, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1. Fill it out with chords. Thank you for giving this up to Quecken and to Beto. J is going off. So what does that look like here? Boom, 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 boom. Going over to B minor, we go. It looks like this. And then we went to D major, so we should go. I should maybe pick a specific chord and go like. I guess we could do this. And then to G major, so. And then C major. To A minor. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. You can extend the stuff just like Jay's extending the subs. Oh, you like that weird unnecessary segue? Jay, thank you for giving a sub to Erica and to into Infinita Mama. Thank you, Jay. And you don't have to actually do these. We can incorporate the other cadences that we talked about. What if you make a deceptive cadence at one point? Jay, thank you for giving us up to Tesno. Jeez, so we went. And you think you're gonna go to B minor, and you go. But you have a deceptive cadence. Into what's now a Neapolitan 6 chord. And if you just do this stuff, Jay, thank you for giving that's up to Pardon. If you do this stuff like this, because it's gonna end up sounding like church music a lot of the time, especially if we go like this. If we go like, actually, let's make it sound more churchy. It's Sunday after all. So if we go. Tried to do something a little different, but I shouldn't know. I should have just left it at. It is very dark. I like when this happens in pieces where it gets very somber. A lot of times it can end up kind of being like this. Forget about the cadence stuff, although it will maybe come if you go like. I wish it wasn't so piercing. If maybe go. And then at some point, or if we want it to be really crazy in the morning, then we go. That doesn't sound very good on this thing. And something that actually probably works better on this keyboard, because these organ sounds are atrocious. Thanks, Marshall. And Vol, thank you for giving us up to Riven. Riven, what's up? Welcome in. Dude, we gotta get AI Jesus in here. Start preaching. I actually feel like the string sound works better. Hey, Gramophone, what's up? I mean, this just... So if we... Like, oh god. You know, I talked to Claire last night about this. She had a music question, and it led into some other stuff, and her question was like, why do you enjoy making your brain hurt and doing this stuff to study music? Because she was asking about how to get past a certain roadblock in music. And I brought up something I've brought up on stream a bunch of times before, which is like, if you're making this face and you're stumbling and your brain hurts and you're like, that means you're learning. That's a good thing. Lean into those situations as long as you don't do it so much that you just get burnt out. But Jay, thank you for gifting us up to Gramophone. But she was like, she's like, it pains you so much to do a lot of like the social media stuff and things like that, but why don't you mind the pain that comes with this music stuff? And what I said was that the actual act of doing this is satisfying, whereas the act of, posting things is not. The physical thing involved with posting is me moving this mouse around and going click, 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 click. There's nothing visually stimulating about it. It's not like a video game. I'm not responding to... There's no, hola Fair, what's up? I'm not responding to anything. There's no nice visuals. There's nothing. It's plain. It's dry. It's not a game. I don't like going... It sucks. But this is a form of practicing. ¿Te vas a dormir? Okay, yeah, it's late. Good night, Marshall. Thank you again. Muchas gracias. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate you. I appreciate you hanging around for a bit too, especially considering I was playing fake organ music. Well, yeah, the organ was certainly fake, and the music was made up too. But so we'll say fake organ music. Delicious as always. Thanks. So if I'm doing this, so why do I bring this up? Because these things as exercises to me are so satisfying. Gramophone was here last stream when we talked about this stuff, and I was just like, just play this note, and just as an exercise, just go to as many places as possible. And it's just like so satisfying. Like I just like... And so it may hurt my brain to try to do this stuff, but what's happening, there's just so much satisfaction that like almost overrides the pain. So if we do this, now if we go to this, and just, it's an exercise. I'm just gonna go 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Let's make it ultra formulaic. Let's make it ultra formulaic. But this is music, this is art. Why would you do that? Because. So not only are we gonna have the bass line be 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1. Let's actually play the same chords in each key that we're going to. So maybe, okay, we're in G minor because that's where we ended. So just because this is a 2 here doesn't mean it has to be the 2 chord. So what if we do, so you can go like, well, what chord has this in it? This is where that exercise, one of the places where that exercise from the last stream is important. What if this is actually a 5 chord? Whoops. So that our chord progression, our cadence, because that's how we started with this, is 5. If we forget about inversions, it's 5, 1, 4. Actually, that's technically a 2 chord. We'll call it a 2 chord. We'll say 5, 1, 2, 1, 5, 1. Somewhere next to this is, well, we could go to B flat major. That's the relative major. And so we're gonna go 5, 1. Okay, I need to either for myself decide to say the numbers of the bass or the numbers of the chords. I need to say the numbers of the bass because that was the whole point. All right, we're here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1. Somewhere that's next to this is E flat major, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. And so now I'm gonna stop talking in between these, and I'm just gonna slowly just go through this and just like, it's an exercise and it's an explanation of something, but it's like hopefully the exercise can actually be satisfying. Afantoche, maybe it's how you say that. Thank you for the follow. Let me actually mute myself as I do this. Let's make this. Yeah. Okay, so you noticed. Yeah, I specifically made that ending sort of thing after the cadence. I made it the exercise we did last time. That was our exercise. How many chords can you fit with just a C on the top? Or this pitch, I should say. It's not always C. Ugh. I only ever sort of discovered or made this sound recently, and it's such a good sound. This is really interesting. Okay, so I never thought about it like this. Wow. Hold on a second. So what's happening here? God, this is Jay, thank you for giving a sub to FM Remix for like actually the 12th. I didn't even have to count. It's actually the 12th gift sub today. The clear leader this month with Jay is J12. Everyone else 0. Actually, it's not everyone else 0 because there's someone who doesn't fit up everywhere. And Elrish J, thanks for the follow earlier. Yeah, so this does clash. It's weird. Okay, so what's happening here is like we have a chromatic mediant. If we do it like this, people will recognize it more like that. That's happening, but against this, so there's like multiple, there are multiple places where you're moving away from your ear would expect to hear, if that makes sense. Because you're already not expecting, and you're not expecting maybe you're expecting the unexpected in a certain sense. Because I'm not even expecting that. I'm trying to... It is kind of crazy to think about, because I don't know, the things that have... the things that have changed over the past 5.5 years or so through pure self-study. Guys, if you want to expect the unexpected from yourself, how about this? Who here gets bored with their own ideas after a while? Raise your hand. Oh, that's a... Do you feel like you just play the same things over and over? Who here feels like they're in an infomercial where it's black and white and the camera like zooms in? This is a way some of these what if we liked RJ? Oh, I mean musically specific, like very specifically musically. Or maybe it could be, I'm assuming it happens with any sort of creative endeavor. Maybe you're an artist and everything you draw, paint, whatever, you feel like you've done it before. I feel like anyone who explores anything enough anyone who does anything enough is bound to find that, where they're just like, God, I've just done this before or something. Again, that was what Claire had reached out about. So I'd like to almost test this with more people. It's difficult to find people to commit to it. but I feel like I'm actually an example of this thing working. But I'd be curious to know how much of it. How about this? So I've done a lot of stuff. I didn't do this in a very, experimental way. It wasn't very controlled. I'd be curious to see how much of an effect. I'd be curious if it must have an effect, but let's just pretend that it could potentially have no effect. I'd be curious what the effect would be and how fast it would happen, if that makes sense. Where if someone was like, I'm just stuck with something, and you go, okay, just start with a few of these exercises. There aren't many, but they cover a lot. Part of your restart is to restart analyzing the great works. That's another thing. That's another form of doing this. What you're essentially doing is you're finding new things, which you absolutely, essentially have to do. It's a great way to grow. If you're like, but I'm stealing, you know what? You're not really stealing. But even if you were, yeah, just steal, whatever. Just steal stuff. Who cares? You'd be like, I care. Don't worry about it. Just steal stuff. In fact, that's one of the things I have listed here. Where is here? I'll show you in a second. One second. This thing is actually really powerful. It's just this exercise thing. But these exercises, play a chord and go to. This is like a way to stumble on things. Okay, so let's say you're listening to you're analyzing someone else's music. You're probably gonna find maybe like one thing or something. I guess it depends on how much you're familiar with and what it is exactly you're analyzing. But let's think about it like this. What you're gonna get is something very sort of specific, and what you're gonna learn is something very specific. It's probably gonna be in like one key, right? The composer is probably not attempting to explore everything in that one piece, right? So that's the difference with this. This is like, again, it's almost like an exercise. Let's think about it like this. If you were to practice technique on the guitar by playing music, you will improve and you'll find things to practice within it, and you need to do that. But there's another approach. This is where we tend to think of technique practice. Stuff like this. What's the benefit of this? Well, this is like you're taking a systematic approach to go like find all the possibilities that could happen, and you're like hitting all of them. So you go, oh, this may never happen in a piece really specifically, but if I do this, I'm bound to practice this finger combination. If you go, I'm gonna practice all the finger combinations, and you can, if you do that, you'll hit everything. You'll find it all. If you practice something in a piece, maybe it's, you get, well, that's actually only one finger pattern. That's just 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. It reminds you of Brouwer. That's because Brouwer was his. He did. And so he was essentially doing that. His studies are very much, well, targeted studies for the guitar. So you can tell, because this is not probably a good thing to do in piano form. If you were to play those pitches, you're not getting the same thing you get as doing it on guitar. On guitar, he's targeting these two fingers and also descending slurs or pull-offs. Oh geez, pull-offs. So that was like part of the goal with this thing too. It was like there's no real style of music that this targets. Maybe film scores use kind of some of these things, but that's actually not the point. The point isn't actually necessarily to create these sounds. The point is to break away from being like C. What's up? Buonasera, signori. It's essentially to go from like C. What chord is C part of? C major, F major, and A minor. Because that's true, but those are just the triads. And it's to go from that, whether you're playing, I don't know, something contrapuntal, something Baroque, something from the Renaissance, something symphonic that's contemporary, whatever. It's to go from that to Jay, thank you for the sub. Jay, thank you for gifting that sub to Willette. It's to go from that, C belongs to this, this, and this. And to go, what does C belong to? Almost everything. So that when you see this C, when you come across the C, you're no longer locked into. You can now, if you want, it could just be any. That wasn't even a sentence. That wasn't even words. But that's what this can be. See, that's what this can. It's forcing you to see all this stuff. So I don't know about you, but I played this, and what I kind of just played as a melodic thing is this to me all of a sudden just sounds like F sharp Lydian when I play. Which again, to connect it with something else is why saying Lydian is, if your only idea of Lydian is you play the white keys on the piano but you start on F, well, good luck. This has nothing to do with that. Not nothing, but you know what I mean. What are we talking about? A lot of different stuff. I can't even follow my own conversations. Well, no, I can, but this partly started with this all actually stemmed from cadences. Cadences. To then the idea being do exercises, but a lot of exercises can actually be musical and satisfying. So I did a whole improvisation that was basically just doing cadences, moving from one key to the next, just constantly. Gonna sell you vacuums? It's better than vacuums. I am trying to sell you something, but I'm trying to sell it to you for free, essentially, because I'm a terrible salesperson. I'm the world's worst salesperson. Hey guys, you want everything and you want to pay nothing? What's the catch? The catch is I get nothing. The catch is I'm scamming myself. Oh, this guy's an idiot. Sure, I'll take that. That's the real catch. That's the real catch. The circle of fifths. Here's the thing to get about it: is that there isn't any one thing to get. It's just a way to organize stuff. It's one way to organize these notes. It happens to be a very useful way to organize them. There happen to be a lot of patterns that can be found within it. That's what the circle of fifths sounds like, man. You learn by patterns and logic? Then you love this, because that's what this is. This is patterns, and it's exploring patterns. I don't know about so much logic, in a like a sort of formal sense, but that's what this is. It's a thorough exploration of it. Because, you know, we never did this, so what if you go like... God, you can play anything! Anything is everything? Every chord is every other chord? Would anybody be interested? Oh, geez. Maybe I should make a sub goal to take this ridiculous document. I don't want to share it as it is, because it's just chaos at the moment. But maybe I can find a few things because this is, if I were to just like share this, it'd be like, what the hell are you showing me right now? What am I supposed to do with this? I wonder if I can maybe take just a few of these and make it into its own document and have it be like a sub goal to share that has, because this was originally for a very specific purpose for a very specific person, which it then became essentially just for me. So I didn't care if anyone else I didn't need it to make sense to anyone else, but man, I really feel like you could help a lot of people out. Would anybody be interested? Gramophone, fair. Dolce? Really? You need a poster? I have some of those from when I was in college. I'm wondering if this could take the form of a poster like that. The thing is, I think there's too much to put on a poster. And not just that, it's kind of actually somewhat infinite. You would really be, man, there should actually be a video that goes along with it. All right, I'll have to think about that. Also, it's 9:45. Maybe I can move back to the guitar stuff and play a couple more things and head out so I can eat some food. Oh, I actually won't be streaming tomorrow. There's a meeting for a guitar festival. A guitar festival, you ask? You should all check it out. If you go there, I mean, that's the website for it. You can sign up with that promo code to get 10% off anything. Whether it's one ticket in person, the whole thing online, just a couple things in person, it doesn't matter. Anything and everything it applies to for that festival. It's multiple days, musicians of different styles, mainly guitar, but there's some mandolin stuff, but from all over the world. That was another thing from last night. A bunch of the people who I met are going to be there, which is cool. And yeah, it'll be a good time. Whether you're interested in guitar or not, I think there's value for anyone. But especially if you're like new to this stuff, man, one of the best things to do. This was my experience, and it was the experience of someone I talked to yesterday too. It was their first guitar festival. When you go to something like this and you see, quote unquote, like real guitars, or maybe you just go anywhere. I remember this was skateboarding. I'd skate with my friends, and then one time we finally went to like a really big popular skate park, and it was like, holy shit, these are like real skaters in their environment. Like this is like just really going down. No one's putting on it's the real people, and they're not putting on a show. It's just this is like what they do, and it's like it can actually be kind of intimidating. It's just like what is happening? But it's like one of the best things you can do to actually find inspiration and to learn and to meet people. And plus I'll be there if you go in person. But let's see, I need food. Okay. What the? God damn it. Oh, for the people watching the VOD, because this is still recording locally, my internet just went out because Verizon does periodic, I think it's them doing periodic like maintenance stuff. But yep, the stream died, which is why I'm doing this. So it's just you and me. It's just you and me. I'm looking over at my combined modem router thing to see when it's back online. Well, I should maybe just end it here anyway for you guys. See you in the next VOD.